Hey everybody, Daniel Carfix, and in this video I'm going to show you how to mount the rear brake caliper on a Honda VTX 1800. So let's get to it. These are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need a 5mm bit for the pad pin bolt. You're going to need a 14mm socket for the, this is going to be for the mounting bolt for the caliper. You're going to need a 12mm socket for the banjo bolt to connect the brake line to the caliper, a ratchet extension, a ratchet, it can be a 3/8, ½ inch, whatever you have, as long as it fits the sockets, and a torque wrench. Make sure that we put the spec torque on the bolts, and silicone paste. This is automotive silicone paste for the guide pins, and some copper anti-seize for the brake hardware, and that is it. Okay, so here's where I'm at with the rear brake caliper. I was waiting for a new brake hardware to come in, and it took about a week. As you can see, my old brake hardware broke right here, and it's not going to sit flush inside the caliper, so I had to order a new one. You can see this one has the right pieces here, so it's going to properly push the pads down so they don't wobble while you're riding. It's important that you check the brake hardware every time you replace the pads or every time you remove the caliper, just to make sure that it's in good working condition. Alright, so I'm preparing to mount the caliper. I just put the brake hardware in, put some anti-seize, copper anti-seize. You don't want to put a lot, you don't want to contaminate. I'm just going to wipe some off. You don't want to contaminate the brake pads, right? So put some anti-seize. I'm just cleaning. I cleaned the bleeder valve, and I cleaned the banjo bolt. This is the bolt that that has the orifice that goes here, and it connects the brake line. One thing that's important, if you're going to reuse the washers, right? So these are two banjo bolt washers. Make sure you sand them down so they're flat. So when you crush them, because these are copper crush washers, they're going to sit snug and you're not going to have any brake bleed. And if you can, just replace the washers, but I don't have the washers, so I'm just going to reuse them. So I've sanded them down. Now I'm going to get this mounted on the bike. One thing I want to remind you, don't forget to use medium thread locker on the guide pins. So this is the top guide pin, and this is the bottom guide pin, and they all need thread lockers. The torque spec on these are 13 pounds, so it's not much. And as per Honda's recommendation, you have to use medium thread locker on them. Okay, so I'm going to torque the caliper mounting bolts. It's actually 22 pounds. 13 pounds, it's the pad pin. So I'm going to torque it to 22 pounds. Yep, I'm just checking the torque. It's at 22. And now I'm going to get the pads in and torque the pad pin. Okay, so once you've inserted the pad till the end and it's touching, and you can feel it's touching the brake hardware at the end, so you just insert the pad pin, slide it, and then do so with the inner pad. You just got to find where it kind of sits. Oh yeah, I can feel it. And then you press it up because of the spring, obviously, and then you start screwing. You also want to push the caliper forward, right, so it doesn't bend the outer pad. Okay, let me get this. Okay, so I'm going to screw it in. Okay, so it's all the way in. Now I'm going to torque the ped pin to spec. Let me just get the Allen bit here. And the spec is 13 pounds of torque. So let me get this back to 10 pounds. And then 1, 2, 3. Yep, so it's 13 pounds now, as you can see. So I just want to go back and make sure that I got this at 13. I don't want to over tighten. See, it's not a lot of torque, and this is the primary reason why I stripped out the bolt and I had to, you know, salvage this caliper in the first place. I over torqued this pad pin and I didn't have any anti-seize in there. So now it's good. Let's get the line mounted. Okay, so I'm gonna now reinsert the banjo bolt. So what you want to do is get in the washer, and the side that you sanded down, right, if you're reusing the washer, should be facing the tip of the brake line, like that, and then like that. And then it goes in. Just tighten it by hand so you don't cross thread it. So let's start torquing it down. 25, it's quite a bit of torque. Yeah, I like to check it twice or 3 times that the torque is right. So that's it. So we got now the caliper mounted, we got the new pads in, we got the pad pin, I did the lube, clean and lube of the guide pins. So what we're gonna do now is bleed the brakes. But that's it for this video. This is how I fixed this caliper that I thought I wasn't be able to salvage it, but I actually managed to fix it, got new pads in, lubed everything. That's it. I hope this video was useful. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Thank you.